So something I'm incredibly excited about. Obviously, we here in Expresso have the opportunity to engage with young learners, people who are destined for television, but I stand to be corrected. When we look at the unemployment rate in South Africa, and it's just come out reported at 38.2%, as a parent, that is terrifying. It certainly is an alarming thing. But of course, there are people that are creating very practical tools to tackle this head on. And FutureMe is a social enterprise on a mission to address the youth unemployment crisis. And I'm going to call it that here in South Africa, with a completely new and unique and pretty inspiring work program aimed at high school learners specifically. Joining us in studio to tell us a little bit more about their inspiring work are both Managing Director Nikki Van Hill and Executive Director Ursula Cooper. Two incredible human beings who I've had the opportunity to engage with, as we engaged with the learners, as they engaged with the world of work at our first big kind of wow World of Work Expo. But if I can start with the dark truth, and there some of our learners, this at Crystal House, we actually had some of the Crystal House learners here at Expresso yesterday, and they loved it. But I've got to ask, where did this begin? 2 years you guys have been working on this specifically, but you've been working in the field now for quite a long time. Why bring this all together in this way to tackle this head on?
I think Graham, Ursula and I have been management consultants for a very long time, working with businesses across every sector in South Africa, looking at the challenges they have from a talent point of view and the stress that they're looking at in terms of where do they get the future for their businesses. And we both also have a big heart for our country, and looking at it both as parents, looking at it going, as you quite rightly said, for our children, if this is what we're leaving behind, we're in trouble. Let's make a difference. Let's look at something that can actually really have impact and bring all different players, teachers, learners, companies, all together to actually make a real difference in this space.
I think of all the projects in this space that I've seen, it's the scale that this is being launched on, and the fact that you've got that dynamic, that it's there for the learners, but for companies as well, in a very real way. But it uses a very unique blended learning approach that is teaching kids purpose as they go through this journey, while they're also building a CV. How does that blended learning approach actually play out through the app specifically?
Well, Graham, our app has a CV building component to it. So we teach our learners how to build their personal brand on the app. So we take them through the steps of building a CV, and they think about things like what their purpose is, what their skills are, what their dreams are. On the one side, so they have this a CV that then markets them to potential corporates. Corporates each have a page where they can market themselves as an employer brand, because the skills crisis impacts the corporates as much as it does the unemployed youth. And they're able to showcase themselves as employers and particular careers in their industry.
Maybe on a personal level, getting into why you've built this in this particular way. Why was it necessary to empower through the process of building a CV? Because it's not just about them being able to represent themselves, but also learn about themselves.
Absolutely. I think we're absolutely passionate about the only way people are going to really make a difference and find their own space in the world is to know themselves. So the CV might be the output, but actually the process that they go through to build a really good CV is learning about themselves and getting to know, who am I? What makes me tick? What am I interested in? What are my values? What is my vision for my future? What are my goals? Those kinds of things, as much as you put them on a CV, but the process of learning
really matter.
that.
It's got to be authentic. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's about finding out who you are on that journey. And you might be 40. We probably don't really know so well as to,
I still haven't built my CV. I'm thinking now, what's on my CV? What would I want to have on there? There's something very powerful about living with purpose. There's something, I think maybe just a precious few get to actually be able to do that. But if you don't know, then how can you do that? When you look at the World of Work Expo, and we had a little TV stand there, we were kind of introducing kids, but why do you think it is that there is this massive disconnect between the actual world of work and what's needed and kids leaving school, and how do we leap forward? A quantum leap is needed, clearly.
I think so many young people don't have hope anymore. And the reason for FutureMe starting in high school is that we found through our research that this is where things go wrong. There are a lot of programs for unemployed youth once they've finished school, but in high school, in that vulnerable high school period where kids are trying to find role models, and they look in the circumstances they're living in where they don't find positive role models, they just give up. And then when they finish school, they go into jobs just to earn a bit of money and look after their families or look after the cash crisis they're going through. But there isn't the sense that I can be passionate about something and there is a career for me. because they have no role models and they have no examples of successful people that they can then model their behavior on.
Well, you've got a studio full of mentors and role models here. Guys proved to me yesterday just how much they care about their industry and making sure that they pass that mantle on. But from my brief experience working in the space, it's been some of the most inspirational work that I've ever done. So thank you so much for opening that world to me. We've got you. We are behind you. We're going to try and get as many young kids into their careers as possible. And I love the fact that all it starts with is futureme.org.za. Go there, start building your CV. I might actually sign up and start building my CV again and find my true purpose. But Nikki and Ursula, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Graham.